Toilet learning this time around for my daughter was very different compared to my son. And after this, I realized there's so much more to share, especially how every child's journey is unique and how being a boy or a girl might influence the process. So today, let's dive deeper into these differences and remind ourselves why patience and understanding are key in this process. Let's start with the individual differences in toilet learning. It's fascinating how each child is their own little person with a unique approach to learning. Some kids, like my son, might surprise you by picking up toilet learning quickly, figuring out peeing after the first day and pooping by the third. Others might take their time, like my daughter, and that's absolutely fine. My daughter figured out pooping on day 2, but peeing was a struggle. It took about a week for it to click with her. This itself was surprising to us, as she was already using the toilets in the morning right after she woke up, but during the day she would still be wearing her diaper. And then we finally decided to take the full toilet learning plunge and go with it since we thought she was ready. So why was there a difference between my son and my daughter? Well, several factors can play into this. For example, a child's overall development, like their motor skills and language understandings, can affect their readiness. We started toilet learning for my son at 2.5 years old, but started with my daughter earlier at just a month after she turned 2. 5 months for adults might not seem like a lot, but for a 2-year-old, their mental development is quite significant at this age range. Also, their daily routine and environment matters a lot. A child in a more structured routine might find it easier to adapt to toilet learning schedules. And let's not forget their personality plays a huge role too. A cautious child might take a little longer because they're wary of new experience, while an adventurous little one might jump right into it without hesitation. Moving on to gender experiences. This is a topic that often sparks curiosity. Boys and girls do indeed have different experiences with toilet learning, and it's not just about anatomy. For boys, they have the added task of learning to aim their pee, which can be tricky. I found it much easier to teach sitting down first, and once they've mastered that, then you can move on to standing, as it does involve more coordination. Girls, on the other hand, might start toilet learning a bit earlier. It's crucial to teach them to wipe the correct way, from front to back, to maintain hygiene and prevent infections. It's interesting to note that research and development studies have shown that girls often start toilet learning earlier than boys. This is partially because girls typically develop certain key skills like communication and bladder control a bit sooner. However, for us, the process was extremely easy for my son and a bit more frustrating with my daughter. This brings us to the heart of today's talk: patience and understanding. Each child's journey is as individual as they are. If you're parenting multiple kids, you'll see firsthand how different each experience can be. One child might be a textbook learner, while another might challenge every step you've read about. It's crucial to not compare, but embrace these differences. Celebrate the small victories, like the first day with fewer misses, or the first time they tell you they need to go, and learn from the misses without frustration. It's all part of this beautiful, messy journey of growth. Remember, toilet learning is not just about getting out of diapers. It's about your child learning to listen to their body, gaining independence, and building self-confidence. Your support and understanding are what makes this journey successful. I know, it's much easier said than done. Trust me, I felt the frustration quite a bit with my daughter during her journey. Now let's talk about this journey a bit. One trick we used on day 1 and 2 was to give more liquids like coconut water to increase the rate at which they needed to pee. With my son, we just figured out his time range and when he needed to go, which happened to be about every hour with the increased liquids. We'd ask him to give it a try. Once he got his first successful pee inside the toilet, everything just seemed to click for him, and he understood from that time on that pee belonged inside the toilets. Before the toilet learning process, my son had never peed in the toilet, so it was a completely new process for him. My daughter, on the other hand, fought us on this. I thought that it would be much easier for my daughter to pick up toilet learning since she was already peeing in the toilet most mornings when she woke up, so it wasn't a new concept for her. We tried the same trick, increasing liquids and watching the time. When we asked her to go give peeing a try, she would sit down and then immediately she says she's all done and wanted to get off. I didn't want to pressure her, so I tell her we try again in a few minutes. And you probably guessed it, not even a minute from stepping outside of the restroom, she tells me pee-pee, which in the early days just meant that she had missed and needed a new underwear. At times, it felt like she was never going to learn, but of course, it did get better with fewer and fewer misses as the days went by. Overall though, we followed the same process as my son and it worked, but just took longer this time around. If you want to find out exactly how we prepared my son mentally and learn the different indicators to see if your child is ready, check out my Montessori toilet learning video. Besides for patience, the one other thing I can't recommend enough are the Tiny Trainers by Tiny Undies. These just absorb liquid much better compared to other brands. They're significantly more expensive though, but the effort and time saved on cleaning the floors and other messes makes up for it. And as always, I'd love to hear about your stories and tips in the comments below. Your experiences enriches our community and help other parents and caregivers. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumb up and don't forget to subscribe for more insights in our parenting adventures. And until next time, keep parenting the awesome way.